This is the beginning of our first home video. Oh, I should get my direct report. For those of you who have terminally ill vision, this is actually not quite Hollywood. This is actually our class. This is our first production here. I'm the director, me, Kim, and this is camera 1 right here. Today's date, it should be clearly marked on the bottom of the screen. And this is, well, seeing snow, and our first take. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This evening we are here to discuss a relatively environmental issue with Ian Holbeck. Ian has been a world founder in many environmental issues, and especially when the human race is struggling against time saving Mother Earth. I'd like to introduce you to Ian.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you very much for having me on. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Ian, I understand that you are one of the first people to discover the fact that purple loosestrife is an environmental hazard to the wastelands of Canada. Is this true?
This is indeed the fact, yes. This is how we have found this out. Purple loosestrife is strangling the leaching process that goes on naturally inside a dump. And what happens is that the purple loosestrife root gets so entangled with the thoroughfare waterways that no natural decomposition processes can go on. Therefore, the decomposition process does not happen, and you have garbage that just remains to just continually pile up upon age after age, which is you could probably well realize is not going to be very beneficial for our future inhabitants.
Well, I understand, Ian, that in fact purple loosestrife is the flower that is choking off our natural waterways, prohibiting the waterfowl and the bog-like atmospheres to purify our water. Is this the purple loosestrife that you were actually dealing with?
No, my goodness, not at all. The purple loosestrife is a little lizard that one finds inside Australia in Mr. Smith, Mr. Alex Smith, brought this over to the English islands and then subsequently here, of course, in Canada, and it's a little lizard that gets into the earth and blocks off all these waterways. And the lizard works on the root system. It delivers root as it walks, and it plugs all the waterways and things like this. And as you can see, if we let this critter get on with its natural process, it's not going to allow us to decompose or get rid of our garbage that we have done in the traditional processes.
Well, I must apologize because my understanding of purple loosestrife is that of a flower. But maybe you'd like to go into its life cycle for us who aren't aware of this particular kind of purple loosestrife.
Well, the purple loosestrife, being a flower, is a natural misconception. The purple loosestrife, this is what the broad mass media would have one believe, but of course this isn't the truth at all. The purple loosestrife is actually, as I have said, a lizard, and it comes from the planet Cricodite. Now, how did it get here, I suppose you're all asking me. Well, I'll tell you how it got here. By a ship.
Can you maybe explain what this ship looked like? Possibly, when, too?
It happened in the summer of 1985. And it happened as it came from Australia, and the ship landed there, and the critters got out and they started to fill in the land, and it became very terrible after that. Now, it came from the planet Kryptonite, as I have said, and there they do not believe in plants and people. Only these little critters that go about disrupting our daily lives.
Ian, this begs the question, how did you stumble across this?
Well, I was walking down the street one day in Adelaide, and I tripped over one of the blinking fellas.
Can you describe in layman's terms what one should look like, or look for, pardon me, if they are in the bush and traveling across a barren plain, a marshland, a forest? What do these creatures do? Where do they live? And what do they look like? Especially for me, who I have absolutely no idea what they look like.
Have you ever walked down the road?
Many times, yes.
Grant. Have you ever walked down a road and you've seen a turtle on the road that has been squashed, and its shell is broken up into little itty bitty pieces, and the little critter is splurged out all over the road? Have you ever seen one of those?
I hit one last week.
I'm sorry?
I hit one last week.
Well, it looks nothing like that at all.
Oh, thank God.
It is a little insidious critter that can take the shape of other things. It can take the shape of people. It can take the shape of prime ministers. It can take the shape of dogs, cats, you name it. I've seen it do all sorts of crazy things. This is where one bit me just the last week.
They bite?
Oh, didn't I mention that? Oh, not much. They only draw 5 pints of blood. I mean, that's all one can expect. But
excuse me, Ian, but the human body consists of at least 7 pints of blood, so if 5 pints are drawn off, would not one be considered almost near death?
only if you're not healthy. If you're healthy, you haven't got a thing to worry about. If you're robust and strong like I am, that's how I narrowly missed the death with the critter. And then I went back into the Everglades of Florida. This is where I met up with the little beast. And I knocked him on his socks. Do you want me to tell you how I did it?
Actually, no, I'd like you to explain exactly what they look like so that our audience, if they're out in their garden and should stumble upon a purple loosestrife, what should they look for? What kind of signs are out there for them?
Ooh, well, it's this long, great, evil look. Oh, it's big, hair, all the hair comes out, and oh, feet, big, and
It is purple, correct?
oh, no, it's green, like your tie.
Why is it named the purple loosestrife then?
Mass media.
If one is bitten by the purple loosestrife, what should they do? Should they immediately contact their doctor?
Oh, before I answer that, let me tell you a little secret.
That's quite the secret.
So, I wouldn't go and tell my doctor about a thing like this. But let me tell you, they're everywhere. They're going to get you, and you want to be on the lookout. It could be on me now. I think I better be going now.
Excuse me,
I think
folks.
I better be going.
We will be talking to Ian later. In the meantime, we will be putting on a break, and we'll be back momentarily with Bob Cummings. Welcome back to our show. This afternoon, we also have, well, Ian Orbit, pardon me. It's a very confusing afternoon, especially after the purple loosestrife. We have Bob Cummings. Bob has been around most of Africa. This is probably why I have your map here. And he has done many archaeological digs on native remains. I'd like to welcome Bob to the show, so please join me in this. Hello, Bob. That was a rather electrifying experience.
I'm glad you had me on, thanks.
Bob, first I'd like to ask you how you managed to get involved in archaeology.
What?
Bob, I'd like to ask you how you managed to get involved in archaeology.
I used to dig out shitholes when I was a kid.
Bob, we must understand.
Oh, thank you very much.
Bob, we must understand that this is on prime time. Children may be seeing it, so we may have to.
Hello, kids. How are you? Uncle Bob here.
We do get some excuse me, Bob. Back to your question. Other than the fact that you used to dig laboratories as a child,
I dig them. I dig babes too. I bet this chick gets lots of
Bob, back to our interview. I'm sorry. Now I understand your latest. I hope you can see this. Your latest find was in Chad, and it happened to be on a temple of Asarasaras.
Say what?
The temple of Asarasaras.
Asarasaras. Oh, yes.
Can
yes.
you tell us about Asarasaras?
It is a temple. 'Tis a temple which floats above the ground. And I had a heck of a time getting into it, because of course out in the middle of the desert you don't have a ladder. But I managed to figure out a way to get into the front door, except every time I put the truck, we leaned the truck up against it, it would push it further along the desert, you see, and it wouldn't quit moving first, and we could never get into the temple of Asarasaras.
Was Asarasaras not anchored in any way to the ground? I mean, could it conceivably move across the desert?
Not in the least. After a night of contemplating this problem and 3 bottles of grouse and White and McKay, we could not figure out a way to get into this blasted. Oh, I tried so hard and I couldn't figure out how to get in there.
Excuse me, Bob. Bob, I must ask you one more question. Actually, several more, but this is one more after your last question. Asarasaras. It's obviously a desert colony. How did you find it if it was above the ground?
I'm sorry, come again?
Asarasaras. If it was a floating colony, how did you manage to find it? Locate its existence. If it's a colony that floats above the ground, there should be no physical evidence of it anywhere in the world. Is this maybe culture from another planet?
I was walking one day in
Yes?
Chad,
Near Asarasaras.
and yes, that's correct. And I was looking at the sand very intently. And as I walked along, I bumped my head. And that's how I discovered it.
Do you have any proof of Asarasaras other than the fact that you filed many reports?
No.
Well, if there is no actual proof of Asarasaras other than your reports, do you not think that other archaeologists and conservators, museums around the world would conceivably think that this story is something you've made up?
Just what are you insinuating?
This is a program where people...
What are you suggesting? Are you suggesting I'm a fake?
Yes.
I've been to Astorbass 3 times, and I know exactly where it was.
Asarasaras.
There, too.
And we'll change subject slightly. Now, I understand that you were on one of the first digs around the temple of Kakawaka in the Indian Ocean. In fact, on that particular island, Kakawoos.
Ah, yes. Kakawoos.
Can you tell us about Kakawoos?
Oh, Sherry. That night I had with you. Oh.
Okay, we're now going down to Tasmania, another dig that you were allegedly on. Now this one happened to be a prisoner colony of Kick Butt. Now, as you know, that most areas in Australia were formed from prisoners out of England or in that general area, the UK, who were sent down there because they couldn't pay for local bread and were caught stealing. What happened to this archaeological dig in Kick Butt? Now, I understand that there were some people who made major finds down there. How about you?
A mighty fine drink. What we found was an old pair of pantyhose.
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 Okay, now, correct me if I'm wrong. You found a pair of pantyhose. What did this, in fact, have to do with the dig?
Well, we were digging for something, and this is what we came up with. I mean, we just, after we got out of the hotel, and, oh, what a night that was, oh. And we drove down the highway. That is a mighty fine drink. It's a lovely drink. We stopped beside the sign that said, this way one way, and the prison's the way the other way, and we started digging right there. We found an old pair of pantyhose.
What did these pantyhose have to tell you? What?
Somebody sure had a lot of fun.
And I think probably we will cut for commercial at this point and introduce our next.
Don't you want to talk to me anymore?
Bob, it's been a pleasure, believe me. We'll definitely have to have you back on another program. In the meantime, we're going to cut for a commercial.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, here we are with the weather watch, and as you can see, there's a blinding snowstorm coming over this area tonight. There's all sorts of snow and rain and everything forecast for the area. As you can see in our live weather eye, all sorts of snow and rain is coming down over the area, and who knows what can happen over the night. If I were you, I would stay inside, and if you're going to go out, I would wear 3 snowsuits and some long johns. Stay inside. Stay inside, Captain Kim tells us, and here she is with the southern view.
I can see in the window. Oh, God, it's a cold one out tonight, and I'd say that you'd be wearing your long johns and all that stuff. If you don't have a beard, get a beard. It's a cold one out. Minus 27 is the wind chill factor. And if you don't have a hat, get a hat. It's frickin' cold, I'm telling you. We're in a warning, a cold warning. We're going to be in there until tomorrow, and we'll be back with you in a few moments. It's in fact, we are in a major weather change here. A major seaboard windstorm is coming up, and of course it's picked up all that precipitation along the way, and it is definitely dumping in our area. We're expecting up to probably 20 centimeters now as we speak, but it may be more or less depending on the kind of precipitation we are expecting. We could be getting snow, we could be getting freezing rain, but right now it's snow, and we are looking at 60-kilometer-hour winds anyway. These are brutal. It is a killer storm.
Oh yes, thank you. Well, as you can see, looking around, the weather's going to be very terrible tonight. If I were you, I would be stepping outside. We've got 40 kilometer-hours of wind, and as you can see, it's really coming down all over the place here. Just have a look around. I mean, who else could ask for worse weather than this? And the traffic center says that all the highways are tied up and there's no traffic moving anywhere at all. And if I were you, I would be staying inside tonight. Of course, if there's a good movie on, then go ahead and watch it. Of course, if there isn't, then my God, go and get one before it's too late. We're expecting snow accumulations of about 5 to 15 centimeters. Of course, if you're up in the Lake District of the Cottage Country, then we're expecting accumulations of 15 to 25 centimeters, and we would want to be very careful of that. Now we just have the live eye look around here. We can see all sorts of things going on, and as you can see, the wind's really blowing. We can't see. Visibility is less than 1 kilometer an hour, and the tractor copter, of course, is in the hour, and we can't see. There's traffic jams all over the place, and who knows what can happen next.
Common problems that most people have with their home.
Look up here.
Are bugs getting in your ceiling, coming through little holes that you can't see before? Look at this. Crack rodents. Right along here. Look at how this fella has crept into the ceiling all over the area. See? And then there's molding crackers. Look here. A classic case, if I ever saw one. And then down here on this wall is switch plug. Notice how it cakes up the switch workings. Look in here, in the bathroom, down on this floor here. Thick old hair parasite. The thick old hair parasite is nothing that you'd ever want to see in your household. Of course, probably the deadliest of all is the carpet sucker. Look here, a classic case. These and others can wreck your household if you don't know what to do. And what to do is to call Donnelly's House Repair. We'll come in and coat your house with milk chocolate to save all your precious valuables and goods from everything you could ever want to be protected from. Donnelly's House Care is your need for house care. Yes, sirree, did I ever ball that up? But nonetheless, you're probably just daddles anyway by all the talents I can do. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
G'day mates, I'm up top from Australia, and I'll be telling you a wee bit about what us outback people wear in order to actually survive in the outback. Now you may think that down in Australia is actually fun and games sort of place. When you see the pictures of all the sun and surf, I'm sure that you're thinking of everybody's having a grand time. But the people who are living in the outback actually are having a much more difficult time. Therefore, we had to adopt something in the way of clothing that the outback people will be able to use. Not sun caps that you see down on the coast off the Great Barrier Reef. No, we had to come up with something in Australia that is actually more universal. And in fact, you'll see what I mean by that. For instance, my hat. It may look like something you'd see in a John Wayne film. Not really. This hat is something of a wee bit different. It's lightweight, universal, and it's oil coated. In the outback, there's a lot of rain in Australia, and sometimes there's quite a bit of snow, depending on the season that you're in. Many mates and I, we've had a lot of hats, and this has been the one that has done me the best. It's a hat of great and true quality. It's an Australian oilskin. Much like this coat. Now, unfortunately, this one's not from Australia. It's in fact, it's fatherland, or motherland, if you like to say. This is a British-made coat, as you can tell by the inside lining. It too is an oilskin. With the oilskin, the Australian outback person has got a versatile type raincoat and something that will last. It's made of strong fiber and can keep a cold chill off. Let me demonstrate what this coat has. On the back is a large opening seam for those of us who have to ride a horse or pony to where we're going. It allows us to make chaps. Let me demonstrate. These are where the legs will go through. I hope you can see this. I am wearing black after all. Note how the strap goes around the leg, creating a chap, so that when I am riding my horse, I will have my leg covered with my coat. Has two huge pockets on the inside, again, all made of the oilskin, and has a double-plated front. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the hood that goes with this one, but there is a hood that you can put over your head, and that protects you from the weather. But what it does have is this grand cape. Notice how it covers my shoulders, keeping that extra water off my back. To top off the list, if you are going to the outback of Australia, you'd be wise to wear a sturdy pair of footwear. These are the traditional kind of cowboy boots that you can get in North America. They're tall, sturdy, strong sole. Maybe a little bit uncomfortable to walk in at first, but I'm sure you can work them in. This is indeed the way to see Australia. Till then, mates, have a good walkabout.